I still remember what she was wearing the night she left. Black heels, red lipstick, and that damn glittery dress that looked like it was stitched together out of temptation. I was sitting on the couch with a bowl of microwave mac and cheese, icing my knee, still in a brace from the surgery. She walked past me like I was invisible, like I was a coat rack in her way. "Babe, I really don't think you should go," I said, not trying to control her, just trying to be honest. "You promised we'd spend the weekend together." She didn't even stop walking. She just shouted back from the hallway, "It's just one night. You'll live." That sentence would haunt me later. Let me give you a little context before I get ahead of myself. I'm 36. Been married for 6 years. Together for 9. No kids, by choice. I thought we were on the same page with that, just like I thought we were on the same page with most things. Honesty. Loyalty. The big stuff. I'm an IT project manager. I work from home mostly, and I'm a homebody by nature. My wife, Alyssa, she's the opposite. Social butterfly. Works in events, bars, clubs, PR stuff. Always out. Always buzzing. And I thought that worked. I really did. I figured, hey, opposites attract. She brings the fire, I bring the calm. She makes me try new things, I keep her grounded. But lately, it had started to feel like I was just an anchor she couldn't wait to cut loose. She'd been going out more, taking calls in other rooms, protecting her phone like it was a national secret. We hadn't had sex in over a month, which for us was a red flag, but I didn't press. I thought maybe it was my injury, or maybe she was stressed. I never, not in a million years, thought she was cheating. That night, though, something felt different. Her energy, her tone. I could feel the detachment radiating off her like static, like she'd already emotionally moved out of the house. I didn't push the issue. I should have. I know that now. But I was tired, hurt, and honestly, scared of looking paranoid. She left around 9:45 p.m. I watched her taillights disappear down the block from the living room window. I sat back down, ate cold mac and cheese, and opened Reddit on my phone. I ended up falling asleep on the couch waiting for her to come home. She didn't. The next morning, I woke up at 6:17 a.m. The spot next to me in bed was still untouched. I texted her. "Me, you okay? Where are you?" No reply. An hour later, I texted again. "Me, Alyssa. Come on. At least let me know you're safe." Still nothing. I called. Straight to voicemail. It wasn't until almost noon that I heard the key turn in the door. I was in the kitchen pouring coffee. She walked in barefoot, heels in her hand, mascara smudged, hair tied up in a messy bun. She looked like she'd been hit by a bus. A glittery, vodka-scented, 3 a.m. bus. "Where the hell were you?" I asked, keeping my voice level. "Relax," she said, throwing her keys in the bowl by the door. I stayed at Jenna's. I was too drunk to drive. Jenna. Of course. The human shield. "Why didn't you answer your phone?" She grabbed a water bottle from the fridge and chugged half of it before answering. "Battery died." "Bull. Shit." I let it go. I didn't want to start a fight without proof. But something cracked that morning. A hairline fracture in the foundation of my trust. I didn't know it yet, but it was already spreading. A few nights later, she went out again. And again. Each time, coming home later. Colder. Less interested in anything to do with me. I could barely get a "how was your day?" out of her. So I did what any guy in denial would do. I made excuses for her. She's just stressed from work. She just needs to blow off steam. She'll come back around. But my gut knew better. The real turning point came 2 weeks later. She left her phone on the coffee table while she was in the shower. Normally, she took it with her everywhere, even to pee. I couldn't help myself. I know it was wrong. I know it was invasive. But I opened it. Her passcode was our anniversary. How fitting. First thing I see is a message from a guy named T. No last name. Just a single letter. "Last night was insane. I can't stop thinking about you." I felt my whole body go numb. Another message. "You looked so damn good in that dress. Wish I could have kept you in it longer." There were photos too. Nothing X-rated, but enough to confirm everything. Her with him. In the club. In a car. In a mirror selfie at a hotel I recognized by the tacky wallpaper. She was smiling in those photos. Not the polite, camera smile she gives at dinner parties. No, this was the smile she used to give me. The one that said, "You're my favorite person in the world." My ears rang. My hand shook. I put the phone back exactly where I found it and walked into the bathroom. She was brushing her hair, wrapped in a towel. "You okay?" she asked, blinking at me. "Yeah," I lied. just tired. That night, I didn't sleep. And the next morning, I started planning. Not a confrontation. Not yet. Something better. Because if she wanted chaos, she had no idea who she was married to. After reading those messages, I knew my marriage was dead. What I didn't know was how deep I wanted to bury the body. Most people, I guess, would confront their spouse right away. Maybe scream, maybe cry, maybe pack a bag and go stay with a friend. But I didn't. I didn't throw anything. Didn't accuse. Didn't even flinch. Instead, I did what I do best. I planned. Alyssa didn't know it yet, but she just handed the keys to her own undoing straight to me. She cheated on a man who manages billion-dollar systems for a living, who can track metadata blindfolded, who once recovered a deleted project from a fried hard drive because someone accidentally spilled coffee. You think I wouldn't know how to cover my tracks? Nah. I went ghost. Right in front of her. That morning, I made breakfast like I always did. 3 scrambled eggs, black coffee, turkey bacon. I left a plate for her on the counter, along with a sticky note. You looked beautiful last night. She saw it and gave me a weird look. She thought she was getting away with it. I was giving her permission in a way. She was expecting distance or cold shoulders. Instead, I gave her warmth. That messed with her more than anything. The next week, I became the best husband imaginable. I brought her flowers. I massaged her shoulders. I picked up groceries before she even asked. I even suggested we plan a weekend away, just us. She was rattled. I could see it. I could feel it. Her guilt was blooming like mold under the surface. She wasn't used to being treated this well, especially not while she was screwing another man behind my back. And that's the thing. I wanted her confused. Torn. I wanted her to hesitate the next time she tried to sneak off to another girl's night. I wanted her to start questioning everything, including herself. Because while I was pretending to be the doting husband, I was documenting everything. Screenshots. Metadata. Timestamps. I pulled the hotel reservation she'd used under her work card. It matched the dates of the photos. I got everything. You'd be surprised how easy it is to track someone's activity when you know their login habits. We had a shared Google Calendar. She'd never logged out of our synced iPad. Her Uber receipts still pinged my inbox. Every lie she told me, I had a matching notification disproving it. Staying late at Jenna's tonight. We're making cocktails. Meanwhile, Uber shows her getting dropped off at a hotel 9 miles away under a guy's name. Just got home from work. Exhausted. Except the GPS history on the iPad showed her at a bar until 1:42 a.m. Forgot to charge my phone, sorry. While simultaneously texting T37 times over the same evening. So no, I wasn't just some wounded husband hoping she'd come back around. I was a data-gathering war machine smiling across the table, holding a fork full of spaghetti like I hadn't already filed paperwork with a divorce lawyer. By the end of that second week, Alyssa started acting strange. More affectionate. More cautious. I'd flip over her phone and she wouldn't snatch it back. She'd volunteer her whereabouts without me asking. She'd initiate sex twice in 3 days, which hadn't happened in months. You know what I did? I turned her down. Softly. Politely. Sorry, babe. Tired tonight. That shook her worse than anything. See, cheaters don't fear being caught. They fear consequences. And the second I started pulling away emotionally, without explanation, she began to unravel. One night, she sat down next to me on the couch with this pouty look, like she was trying to read my temperature. She leaned on me, rested her head on my shoulder, and said, "Do you think we're okay?" I kissed her forehead and said, "Of course we are." She didn't smile. She looked scared. That's when I knew the ghosting phase was working. But I wasn't done. I made an anonymous Instagram account with a fake profile picture and sent T a message. "Hey man, just FYI, the woman you've been seeing is married. Thought you should know before you get in deeper." He didn't reply. But 3 days later, Alyssa got home in tears. She said nothing. Just went to the bedroom and locked the door. I waited. An hour passed. Then 2. Finally, I knocked. "Everything okay?" She opened the door and fell into my arms like a soap opera character. "I feel like I'm losing you," she whispered. "You already did," I thought. But I didn't say it. Instead, I held her, stroked her hair, played the role she wanted me to play. She never mentioned the Instagram message, never said his name, but her sudden emotional collapse said everything. I put doubt in his head, which put pressure on her, which put the ball back in my court. All without raising my voice. All without a single confrontation. But now, it was time for phase 2. Because what's better than watching a cheater squirm? making sure they get everything they deserve. And Alyssa was about to find out just how much she'd underestimated me. I chose Christmas for a reason. Because cheaters remember the day they lose everything, and nothing ruins the holidays like finding out you were just a pawn in someone else's endgame. Let's back up a few weeks first. After Alyssa broke down in tears and clung to me like I was her last lifeboat, I knew she was spiraling. That anonymous DM I sent to her boy toy T had done its job. The guilt was leaking through her foundation, and I was watching it crack brick by brick. But I still hadn't confronted her. Not really. Not a word about the texts, or the hotel bookings, or the selfies I found of her in his bed. No, I needed her to feel safe. Because when cheaters feel safe, they get sloppy. And Alyssa? She got really sloppy. One morning, I was asleep on the couch when she walked past whispering into her phone. I had one AirPod in and the other under my pillow recording. She thought I was knocked out, but I caught every word. I don't know, okay? He's being too nice. It's weird. It's like he knows something, but he's not saying it. I'm freaking out, T. I swear if you did anything stupid. Boom. There it was. Confirmation. Fear. Desperation. Guilt. All in one breath. She still didn't know I was the one who warned him. After that, I stopped pretending to sleep. I started really disappearing emotionally, mentally. I'd come home later. I'd go silent at dinner. I started locking my phone, closing the office door, and smiling just enough to keep her off balance. I was done making her comfortable. I was ready to make her unravel. I called my lawyer and started finalizing the divorce paperwork. I'd already moved all my money to a private account, removed my name from the joint credit cards, and updated my direct deposit info at work. Oh, and the condo? Technically, it was in my name. She never contributed to the down payment. And thanks to the state laws, my premarital assets were protected. She was about to find out just how little leverage she had. But the real masterpiece was the gift. 14 binders, each wrapped in shiny red and gold wrapping paper, each labeled with names. Her parents, her 2 sisters, our mutual friends, her HR department, T's workplace, T's parents, and so on. Inside every box, a curated timeline of her affair. Printed texts, screen caps, Uber logs, bank statements, hotel receipts, even a few of his shirtless selfies she stupidly left in the cloud backup. The most damning one? A photo of her in our bed, wearing lingerie I had bought her for him. Each binder included a summary page. Polite, professional, with one sentence that crushed every lie she could tell. If you are receiving this, it means you are connected to a person who has knowingly engaged in an ongoing extramarital affair while misrepresenting themselves in both personal and professional capacities. Cold. Legal. Undeniable. I mailed them out December 22nd. Priority delivery. ETA, Christmas Eve. I almost felt bad for the mailman. Almost. Christmas morning. She woke up smiling, probably thinking I was still in the fog of forgiveness. I handed her a small box, one last act of theater. She opened it slowly, dramatic as ever. Inside, a single USB drive. What's this? She asked. Everything, I said, sipping my coffee. Press play. She didn't even make it 2 minutes into the folder before her mouth fell open. I'd put it all there, videos, audio, text threads, everything. Her face went sheet white, like someone had unplugged her soul. Where did you get all this? She stammered. I stood up, walked over to the Christmas tree, and pulled out my envelope. The one with the divorce papers. Her name already signed. Her attorney already CC'd. Merry Christmas, Alyssa, I said. You're going to want to call your job before Monday. That's when she panicked. Full spiral. No. We can talk about this. I messed up. I know I did. But we can work through it. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I smiled. Too late. She lunged for my arm. I stepped back. Then her phone buzzed. And again. And again. I timed it perfectly. All her people were getting their gifts. What the hell is this? Her sister texted. You slept with someone else in your own house, from a mutual friend. Call me immediately, from her HR. Her hand shook as she dropped the phone. Then came the knock on the door. It was T. She opened the door, her mascara already smudged with panic. He didn't even step inside. Just tossed an envelope into her hands. You're insane, he said. Lose my number. Then he left. She opened the envelope. Inside? A single screenshot. The DM I'd sent from the fake account. Now she knew. I was the ghost in the machine. and her entire world was burning. She collapsed on the couch, sobbing into her hands. It was loud, ugly crying, the kind people make when they realize they have no one to blame but themselves. And me? I poured myself another cup of coffee, packed an overnight bag, took the signed divorce papers with me. Don't worry, I said, walking toward the door. You'll be hearing from my lawyer, and probably your HR, and definitely your mother. She looked up, red-eyed, broken. You ruined my life. No, I replied, holding the door open. You just finally have to live it without lies. And then I walked out. But the story wasn't over. Because 3 weeks later, Alyssa did something I never saw coming. She tried to fight back. I thought it was over after Christmas. Thought the evidence, the exposure, the divorce papers, all of it, would be enough to end this mess with some finality. I was ready to grieve it and move on. But Alyssa? She wasn't done. Not by a long shot. It started small. A week after I moved out, mutual friends started reaching out. Hey, just wanted to check in. Alyssa's saying some stuff that doesn't really add up. Stuff like, I abused her emotionally for years. I planted fake evidence to make her look like a cheater. I was a narcissist who manipulated her into isolation. She was trying to flip the narrative. Classic. Problem was, she wasn't just saying it in private. She was posting it. One night, I got a notification from an old coworker who followed her. Alyssa had posted a vague, dramatic caption on Instagram. Just because someone looks perfect on paper doesn't mean they're not a monster in private. I survived. I'm healing. The post had over 400 likes, and dozens of comments calling her brave, strong, and an inspiration. I laughed out loud. The audacity. But then I got the call that changed everything. It was from my boss. Hey, I don't want to make this awkward, but we've gotten an anonymous email about you. Just wanted to give you a heads up. It was her. She'd sent a fake complaint to HR, claiming I was toxic, unstable, and had made threats during the relationship. She implied I might be a danger to coworkers and even mentioned having concerning materials on my computer. Pure fiction. Lucky for me, I already had a relationship with my manager that went back years. I invited them to a quick Zoom, explained the divorce, and showed them a folder labeled Evidence of Defamation. Inside was a PDF of the full divorce case, my screenshots of her affair, recordings of her lies, the anonymous complaints metadata, which, thanks to my IT background, I traced right back to her IP. My manager was stunned, said I had nothing to worry about. But I knew then, Alyssa wasn't trying to win back her reputation. She was trying to destroy mine. So I got serious. I filed a cease and desist letter through my attorney, citing defamation and false allegations. We included a list of her social media posts and warning that if they weren't removed within 48 hours, we'd file a civil suit for damages. She ignored it. So we sent another. She finally responded, through a lawyer of her own. Their message? Our client believes she is within her rights to share her lived experience. Lived experience. Right. What about the lives she tried to sabotage? I gave the green light to file the defamation lawsuit. It wasn't even about money at that point. It was about principle. But before the paperwork went through, she escalated again. One Friday night, I came home to my new apartment to find a handwritten note taped to my door. You think you've won, but everyone's going to know who you really are. That was it. No name, no signature, but I recognized the handwriting. It was Alyssa's. Her dramatic loops and unnecessary hearts over her eyes were unmistakable. I checked the building's security cameras. Guess who showed up at 2:17 a.m., hoodie up, phone in hand? Yep, caught in 4K. I downloaded the footage, called the cops, filed a police report for harassment and violation of personal boundaries during an active divorce proceeding. She was warned. One more slip, they said, and we could press criminal charges. But still, I knew she wasn't finished. Because narcissists don't go quietly. They go out swinging. So I baited the final hook. I made a new Instagram account. Private. No photo. No followers. I DM'd her from it. You really think you can get away with what you've done? You should be scared. Watch your back. A fake threat. Yes. One she couldn't resist showing off. Within 1 hour, she posted a screenshot of it with the caption. The abuse never stops. This is what I deal with. Boom. Thanks for publicly posting proof that you're fabricating threats, Alyssa. I screenshot her story. Sent it straight to my lawyer. Along with the footage from my apartment, the HR complaint, and the handwritten note, it built a full picture, She was targeting me with a smear campaign. We finalized the legal filings that week. The divorce? Done. The defamation suit? Filed. Her employer? Received a courtesy packet with all the evidence, just like she tried to do to me. Oh, and I might have submitted a quiet tip to the IRS about her influencer side business she never declared income from. Not petty, just thorough. By the end of January, Alyssa's world was caving in. She'd gone from the club queen with 10K followers to a whispered warning in group chats. Did you hear about Alyssa? Yeah, she tried to frame her ex for abuse. Her family stopped defending her. Her job suspended her pending investigation. Her lawyer dropped her for failure to comply with counsel. And she? She messaged me. One last time. You got what you wanted. I hope you're happy. I didn't reply. She'd mistaken revenge for happiness. No, Alyssa. That comes next. Because while you were burning down our marriage, I was planting the seeds to build something better. After months of silent war, the final message from Alyssa sat in my inbox like an echo of someone I used to know. You got what you wanted. I hope you're happy. It didn't feel triumphant. It didn't even sting. Honestly, it felt hollow, like she still didn't get it. Because this was never about winning. It was about making sure she could never do this to anyone else ever again. The defamation case was already in motion. She was cornered legally, professionally, socially. Most of the people who rallied to her side in the beginning, they quietly faded out once the receipts started surfacing. Some even apologized. Her job officially terminated her after an internal review. Her HR department discovered she'd used company funds to reimburse hotel visits labeled as client entertainment. The problem? One of those clients was T, and he wasn't a client of anything except poor decisions. To top it off, the IRS opened a soft audit into her online boutique business. Turns out, 3 years of undeclared earnings on Etsy, affiliate links, and brand deals weren't going to slide under the radar forever. She went silent on social media, deleted the post about her truth, locked down her profiles. But people don't forget easily. And the people she tried to destroy? We rebuild. We remember. Now about me? The weirdest part of walking away from a toxic person is realizing how much space they took up in your brain, and how damn quiet life becomes when they're gone. At first, the silence felt like an empty room. Then it started to feel like peace. I reconnected with old friends, spent weekends hiking, repaired my relationship with my brother, someone Alyssa always kept at a distance because she said he was too blunt. Turned out his bluntness was the first warning I ever ignored. Therapy helped too. A lot. Not just because of what happened, but because of what I let happen. Because I stayed too long. Let things slide too much. Gave the benefit of the doubt long after it was deserved. That changes you, but it can also sharpen you. I'm not bitter. I'm just awake now. And that's more valuable than any revenge could ever be. One last twist? 3 months after our divorce was finalized, I got an email from someone unexpected. T. Subject line: apology. I know I'm the last person you want to hear from. I just wanted to say I didn't know she was married when we started. She lied to me too. When I found out, I was sick. I thought she was single. Everything fell apart after that. She blamed me. Said I ruined her life. Just thought you deserved to know I didn't know. I'm sorry. I sat with that email for a while. Not because I needed an apology from him, but because it reminded me of something important. Alyssa didn't just betray me. She manipulated everyone. She didn't fall into an affair. She orchestrated one. Lied to him. Lied to her job. Lied to her family. Lied to me over and over again. And now? She's alone. She burned her bridges down so thoroughly, there's no one left to help her rebuild. Epilogue. I sold the condo. Moved into a place across town with giant windows and no ghosts. Started dating again, not seriously, but for the first time, I was honest about what I'd been through. You'd be surprised how many people say, wow, same. Turns out, betrayal isn't rare, but how you rise from it. That's where the difference is made. So yeah, she went out partying without me. She lied. She cheated. She tried to break me. But all she did was set fire to her own foundation. And me? I watched her house burn from a safe distance, with a match she struck in one hand, and a pin signing my new life in the other.